This morning I am ranting about a telephone call I got last week. I don't know why these people keep calling me, but they keep calling me and begging me for money. But let me give you a little background into my life. When I was growing up, my dad was a Southern Baptist minister, and he worked for the Home Mission Board. And what that means is that he would go to areas in the country that did not have a Southern Baptist church, and he would start one. And mostly we lived in the southeastern part of the country, and that's where he raised up these churches. So in my household, when I was growing up, nobody ever talked about politics. Now, I knew my parents voted. I never knew who they voted for. I never heard them talk about it. I never heard them talk about it with anybody else. Because at my house, when we'd have Sunday dinner after church, we'd have church people come and they'd have dinner with us. And when we got finished with dinner, the kids would run outside and play, and the adults would sit around the table and have coffee and dessert. And I would sit in my uncle's lap because I loved listening to them talk. So my whole life was filled with talks about Christianity and the Bible and God and Jesus and the Holy Ghost, and politics just wasn't a big deal. But when I became of age to vote, I knew it was very important to vote. I never had a conversation about that with my parents. I just knew it. It was the right thing to do. And so I always voted for the candidate that was going to make America what I believed in. That's how I cast my vote. And so for the last 50 years, I've been voting. And through the process of time, I kept voting for these people. They're on the red team. And they kept saying that they were going to go to the great Emerald City and they were going to change the laws and make change and make it even better than what it was, the country. And so sometimes they won and we would cheer, and then sometimes the blue team would win and we'd be sad. And it would go back and forth. And in my lifetime, nobody ever hated anybody if you were on the red team and they were on the blue team, or if they're on the blue team and you're on the red team. Nobody hated anybody. We just knew that's the way it was. And you knew that having two teams was how you keep things balanced, because the red team stood for on a certain platform that caused these folks to have wealth and prosperity, and the blue team stood on a certain platform that allowed these folks to have a certain prosperity. So when it went back and forth, red and blue, it just kept everything balanced. And then I realized that it wasn't happening. You know, the red team would send people into Emerald City and nothing changed. And the blue people would send people into the Emerald City. Nothing changed for them. And I thought, you know, this is kind of silly. This going back and forth. Why don't we do this? Why don't we just give 8 years to the red team and 8 years to the blue team? And it'll stay balanced, because the blue team are, you know, supporting the group of people who want their wealth and power, and the red team's supporting the people on their side that want wealth and power, and it keeps it balanced. And then something happened. This Potpiper came along and began to pipe about how the people at the Emerald City on the blue team and the red team, they were getting very rich. Now, there only making about $150,000 a year, and my ex-husband and I made $150,000 a year, and we lived a comfortable life, but we didn't have the wealth they have. And they started saying things like how they're spending my Social Security to give themselves Social Security and to give them a retirement program that was heaven, and to have bodyguards surrounding them for the rest of their lives that I'm paying for as a taxpayer. And they're doing all of this, and they're preaching at me that the Social Security is going away, is being depleted. But those people at the Emerald City, they're the ones that's spending it all. The money that I thought I was giving to help make my country a better place to live for everyone was not spent on making America a better place. It was going in the pockets of the people in Emerald City. The purple people. They're not red, they're not blue, they're purple. And they have created this little kingdom in Emerald City. And so when the purple people saw the Potpiper, they got really scared, and so they hired a hornblower. The blue team got a hornblower, and the red team got a hornblower, and they would tell the red team would tell the red people how terrible the blue team was, and the blue horn would tell the blue people how terrible the red people were, and it kept us divided, because they knew that once we got together and realized that we agree on the majority of things on the blue team, and the red team, they're agreeing on the majority of what they believe is what's best for this country, but they're being kept separated because of the purple people blowing the blue horn and the red horn. So they see the Potpiper, and slowly you see people start dropping out of the red team, and they drop into this no-name group. And people are falling out of the blue team into the no-name group. And the purple people are getting really, really nervous. And with time, the no-name group becomes a very large group. And all of a sudden, there's this person that's not on the red team, not on the blue team, not on the purple team, and that person starts saying what the Potpiper was saying. And the no-name group got really excited, and they all decided to vote for this person. And this person comes in office, and America becomes great. I mean, everything is going great, except the money that's been going to the purple people is not going to them anymore. It's going back to the blue people, red people, blue people, and the no-name people. Everybody's experiencing a better life. When I left the red group, they started sending me letters. They started telling me how terrible the blue team was making America. And they were trying to get me to hate the blue team even more. And I thought, no. If you had done what you were supposed to do, red team, we wouldn't have this mess right now. But you didn't do what you were supposed to do. And those letters they sent me, begging me for money, they're like 4 pages. I got my black permanent marker out, and I wrote all over. I told them, this is all your fault. The place that we're in right now, it's all your fault. It's not the blue team's fault. It's your fault. And I sent it in. And every time they sent me one, I sent it in. And I listed the names of everybody on the red team that has to go. They have to go. I'm not coming back, and I'm not giving you another dime until they go. And so finally, they would send me these things with a stamped envelope. And so they quit sending the stamped envelope. Now when I sent it back, I had to put the stamp on it, which I gladly did, because it was the best therapy. It was so great to write all those things. I was so mad. And then they started calling. They called me on the phone. And I was over at my neighbor's house one day, and she's blue, and she thought I was red. And we have a good relationship. We don't talk about the blue team and the red team. We just love each other. We're neighbors. And I was helping her with her laptop, with some things that she was doing. And I got the call. And I mean to tell you, I got into it with this guy. Everything he said, I was coming right back at him. I was giving it to him, what for? And I'm getting louder and louder. And I'm really getting emotional. And I look over at my friend. Her mouth is dropped open. Her eyes are big as saucers. And she's thinking, this poor woman has lost her mind. So I realized I needed to end the phone call. Ended the phone call, and I said, I am so sorry. I am so sorry you had to see that. Because you never should have seen that. But I'm very angry right now with the red group. So this past week, well, I got a couple of months ago, I got a call from another red group person who's been in the military, and he's telling me, I answer the phone, and when he starts talking, I just start laughing. He said, what's so funny? And I said, I can't believe you guys keep calling me. Because when so-and-so did such and such, that's when I left the red group. And the phone goes click. He hung up on me. He hung up on me. He didn't want to hear it for the 5 millionth time. So last week I got a call, and this woman is just as sweet as she can be. Precious woman. And I told her, I said, no, I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back. It's full of bad people. It's full of purple people. I told her about the purple people. The only reason why they go to the Emerald City is to get rich. They're not going there to make America better. They're going there to get rich. All of them. Red, blue, whatever. They're purple people. And she said, I know, I hear what you're saying. But what we're trying to do is raise money to get the purple people out of the red group. And I said, let me tell you something. I have been listening to promises for 50 years. I've been voting. And I don't believe promises anymore. My money is going directly to the candidate after they've spent time in Emerald City, and they show me that their interest is in we the people, by the people, for the people. When they show me, when they prove it to me, show me, then I will send them money. But I am not sending money anymore to the red group. I'm done. And anytime somebody says to me they're blaming the blue group for all the bad stuff happening, I'm saying, no, this would not be happening if the red group had stepped up to the plate. I tell you what, it was a terrible rant. It was so terrible that right after I hung up the phone, my son called me. And I said, hello. He goes, Mom, are you okay? No, honey, I just had a phone call with the red group. He said, Mom, just hang up the phone. He was right. I should just hang up the phone. Just hang up on him and not rant. But it makes me feel so much better when I get to tell you guys listen to me and you make good comments, and you just make my day. So I'm trying to make yours, and I hope you have a great week. Be safe, everybody.